As this is a nutrition and management class, I'm very interested in the restaurant environment. I have worked in two restaurants. One was a steakhouse named Logan's, one was a burrito specialist called the Dank Burrito. Sometimes I noticed in common between the two restaurants were that the food was something that you couldn't get at home, and the foods often had to trend with the season. Employees were also very close. Things that anyone should know about the food in the restaurant industry or the food itself is that the food has to be removed when it goes bad. The food has to be cooked certain ways or it may be deadly. Food will always have a specific preservation style, and there is a qualitative measure behind food that makes food promote itself. Finally, the environment in which the food and the industry as a whole works under has to be ethical and smooth. In other words, the operations and management have to follow the hierarchy of command effectively. In order to achieve my dream job, I'll probably have to find an environment in which I am comfortable. I will actually have to find an environment in which I am comfortable. I'm not sure that I want to be in the food industry all that much in the beginning, but I believe that a good management job toward the end of my career life cycle will be a decent job. Even if cooking is something that is possible, that would be interesting and healthy. Food is food. Making good food is always better than making bad food. My dream job would be to become an author or a marketer of some sort. And in fact, work for the food industry would not make either job less attractive. So I'm just sure that if I wanted to be in the restaurant industry, you know, right now may not be the time. Down the road, yes, food definitely would be enticing, and that would definitely be helpful within the scope of this class. I am currently in the attempt of a marketing degree, and I would like to be finished with this within the next year. When I complete my major, I am still undecided as to whether I will continue my education in the business field, and that seems like the new way to go. But I could always get a certification if the dream job doesn't go as way as planned. So, essentially, getting through the thick of everything will help me with my intelligence, and it will put me in the right direction, and it'll help me make sure that I keep going. You know, I can be successful. I can have a family. I can do this and this and this. An author is not particularly, what I always dreamed of, but a few years ago, I tried to write a book. I had about 40, 50 pages in, and I really wasn't feeling the book out too well. The dialogue's very rough. And I couldn't make the characters cooperate with each other in ways that I preferred. Essentially, I just quit. I should have asked for help, which is one of my issues. So, um, yeah, if I'd have asked for advice on the specifics, I may have been able to at least finish the book. I doubt it would have been published. And, it did give a good spark to a future. So, although nutrition is not a science fantasy type of language, which is what the book was, I do consider learning as a supply of oneself. Food and the personal trainer is topics that I would be interested in writing about. I maybe even come up with a publication that can be sold in traditional ways, magazines, books, articles, etc. Even if the internet open in certain mediums has brought a new understanding as to what an author is. In the marketing degrees so far, I have not taken too much initiative in the advanced classes, so I do not know what exactly will turn up in the next coming year or two, hopefully this year. Management or advertising, etc. There's a lot of ways that could go. It kind of just leaves me out in the dry a little bit as to what's going to happen next. I'm still excited. So the subtopics, they are interesting topics, and successes and failures are inevitable. Publication of success and failures are often, a very popular genre. I don't call it a genre, but very popular read. So from here, I will have to open my eyes and be open to the opinions, especially when I'm not capable of doing something that can impede the process of a completion. Next, I will need to make the journalistic approach and determine who, what, where, when, why, how, and why in my work by using my past experiences, along with my characterization of self and others. And finally, the reason I really think being an author would be a dream job is just I'd like to be in my own place, my own environment, and I'd like to create something in my own space and entertain others. Put them in their own space or their own element, help them enjoy themselves a little bit more. You never know where that can go for anyone, especially myself or them. I doubt I'll ever be a top 300 author, but either way, my name's Will Knipe. I'm a marketing major. I'm from Kannapolis, North Carolina originally. I'm 24. Um, this is my dream job post